A warm welcome to Anuradha Vedic Astrology. Today we are going to talk about the fourth aspect of Mars. But before that, a big thanks to all of you for liking, sharing and subscribing to our YouTube and Spotify channels and writing in your comments and your suggestions there. As we talk about Mars, or for that matter, any malefic, we generally see and think that the aspects of malefics, especially Saturn and Mars, who have two special aspects also, is generally not conducive to a person. Do we realize that the malefics push us out of our comfort zone, make us work, because we all want to progress in life, but within a comfort zone? Progression begins when we move out of that comfort zone. And so we must thank the malefics on that behalf. Now, when we are talking about Mars, Mars is the energy that a person has. And the energy is related to the verb do. We need to do an action for that energy to be expanded and worked. As we talk about Mars in the fourth house of the Kalpurush Kundali, we know that it gets debilitated and does not have that aggressive energy per se. But being the planet of energy, it does have an energy which is somewhat watered down, literally, because it is in the sign of Cancer. Being in the sign of a mother, we know that Mars is also called Bhumija, or the child of the Mother Earth. And it is the Karaka for lands, landed property, etc. So when Mars is placed in the sign of Cancer, or when Mars is placed in the fourth house, the person will not be very aggressive unless there are malefic effects to it, and the person, according to the Desh Kal Patra, will also have landed properties or will have a house to call his or her own. So as we take this as an extension to the property, to the fourth aspect of Mars on different from different houses to the fourth house from itself, we understand that in those areas, Mars would show a less aggressive attitude. Mars would show a toned down effect of being extremely protective about those people that it aspects, and it would, on an esoteric level, would always, being the energy to do and being the planet that is always brimming over with a lot of force, aggression, etc. Here, while protecting those very group of people, those very things that the fourth house from it reflects, Mars would also be finding out new ways to keep those people occupied, happy, and to find new ways to protect them. It would forever be channelizing a very positive energy in that direction. And it would also be encouraging those people, the house that's aspecting with its fourth aspect, to do better for themselves. He would not be able to enjoy those aspects more because he would be busy protecting them, but their happiness would also equate to the happiness of Mars. Let's see it reflecting for all the lagnas as such. So when we talk about the lagna, when Mars is sitting on the lagna, we generally find that the person is very vivacious, person is very on the move and to go, but the person would have a strong affect or affection for his family members, would always want to protect the emotions of his mother specifically, would have a very protective attitude towards his or her birthplace, may not be able to enjoy the beautiful congenial environment of the house, but would always be thinking of the house. The person would also be thinking about securing money in a bank and would be also good at it. And such a person would definitely not be showcasing their emotions, would be very protective about their inner feelings, lest somebody takes them for being emotional fools. But they are soft touch to go with. When we talk about Mars aspecting the fifth house with its fourth aspect, because it's placed in the second house, we know that such people would be very protective about their children. They may not be able to enjoy the company of their children much. They could be busy providing for their children, but they would definitely have a very strong affection corner for their children as well as their students. These people could also be protecting the money that they would be earning from big companies, and they make great advisors for any big association that they're associated with, be it the army, be it the sports, or be it a big warehouse, any such thing. In fact, they also work great as sports counselors and coaches here, because though they do not work directly on the field, but they are good at covering up their students or being a wall for their students. A very protective effect there. Again, when we talk about the third house, placement of Mars in the third house and Mars aspecting the sixth house from there, we know that such people have a very soft corner for their servants at home, for their co-workers, and they love to protect them as such. These people also enjoy their pets, and for all these people around, they're forever trying to find ways to protect them, to ask them to future them, in the sense that they would want them to have a better life and consequently work well with them. In fact, these are the peoples they would always be making compromise for. When we talk about Mars in the fourth house aspecting the seventh house, we generally think that these people are not very good with their spouse, but do we understand why so? They're protecting their parents, their emotions, but at the same time they would also want to protect their spouse, until and unless there's another malefic effect on that seventh house. Mars generally does not create much enmity there. In fact, when we widen the distance, when we allow these people to work outside for a longer period of time, we'll see that these people become very caring spouses. They, in fact, would go an extra mile to also care for their professional partners. And in turn, when we see that these people, because Mars is an energy concern, these people may have their differences with their professional or personal spouses, in the sense partners, but they would never ever allow others to harm such people. When we talk about the fourth aspect of Mars from the fifth house, that is on the eighth house, we know that these people are very strong when it comes to protecting their hereditary issues. These people are also very strong and very possessive, very personal when it comes to their own esoteric sadhana or their own adhyatma, or if I can say their spiritual essence. They are not generally going to let other people into that. These people would also protect the land or any property that they get from in form of inheritance. And so I personally believe that a fourth aspect of Mars from the fifth house is good. When these people can also find ways to put in money, in big money, in insurance and other such funds, so that, or if they're investing in mutual funds of insurance companies, of taxation companies, etc., they would make a good killing out of it at a later date. When we talk about the fourth aspect of Mars from the sixth house, that is on the ninth house, these people will be very possessive about their parents, about their grandparents, and grandchildren. These people are also very much interested, keen in going out and understanding new cultures, understanding and going to cultural places, also to places of pilgrimage. And there they would make sure that everything is correct, what they want to do and how they do things is something that they would always be setting an example for. When we talk about this very same aspect, that is sixth as a fourth aspect of Mars on the ninth house from the sixth house, we also know that these people would also have a way of guarding their cultural and religious grounds, and in that process sometimes they may just harm themselves also. But they, if there is a lot of malefic influence, they can sometimes be fanatics also, and that is one thing that they need to take good stock of. When we talk about the aspect of Mars on the 10th house from the 7th house, that's a good aspect. These people would be very protective about their place of work. These people would be very strong in learning to climb up. They could be great loyalists to their bosses and would be forced to reckon with in their place of work. They would like to do things to the T. They will be people who will be guarding their workplace well, and they would also be very much careful about their promotions, very much careful about what goes out on a company front, and they will be very businesslike in their approach when it comes to their work, in the sense that it's something that they are going to do it like an army general, and a very protective force at that. Let's move on to the eighth house. Eighth Mars aspecting the 11th house. Is it good? I think it's good because here again, it is connecting two houses of finance. We do not really think Mars is involved in the finance, but at the end of the day, Mars is energy. And where are you putting in your energy? You are trying to put in your energy to get a greater grip on the finance, to be able to understand how to generate periodic income from your ancestral property and how to guard that periodic income. You could be very good with your tenants there because you would understand that they are the ones who are giving you a periodic income, or they are giving you a monthly income. Mars here could also show that you are more interested in the material aspect of life rather than going deep down and studying the essence of spirituality or other things, because it has its aim, it protects its material needs and is practical enough to know that once the material needs are satisfied, only then can one move towards spirituality. We move on to Mars in the 10th house aspecting, sorry, the 9th house aspecting the 12th house. Here we see a change in Mars. We see that this Mars is now more protective about what they spend, but at the same time is more interested in getting connected to the Supreme, is more interested on a public level for having a good name and fame in the international arena. Again, Deshkal Path counts. Such Mars would always find out the older techniques, the traditional techniques that which would be which would be very much a part of their work culture. Say supposing somebody is into art and craft, so somebody would be moving deep down to understand the artisans of the yesteryears did, and then create similar artifacts to gain a name and fame. Somebody could be very strong in the world of business, understanding certain intricacies of a local business, and then working deep down on those levels can give you a name and fame and can propel you into a good sphere in your local markets. So it's not just about art or craft, it's about throughout. Again, when we talk about the Mars in the 10th house, here it's a Digbali Mars, which aspects the Lagna. You are forever ready to protect yourself. You don't feel afraid in speaking your mind out, yet you would be not that forceful in your speech, in the sense that you would not be killing in your speech, but you would definitely be a force to reckon with, because you are very sure as to what you want to protect in your life. That is I, me, and myself. And you would be very health conscious, because again, the Lagna also talks about the physique, the longevity. So the 10th Mars is definitely giving you a strong protection for your physicality and your longevity. When we move to the 11th house, Mars from here aspects your second house. You're protective about your family. You want to progress high in education so that you can build a good name for yourself, and for that also you will make good strides. You can stay away from your family, but you can still care for them, do good for them, and create a very secure ambience for your family members. Also, you would be contributing a lot of your finances to your family members. When we talk about Mars is a fourth aspect from the 12th house. It aspects your third house. It aspects the house of your sibling. It aspects your courage. It aspects your speech. So what does that show? It shows that whatever you speak, you want to be forceful in that, you want to be correct in that, and you want to protect your siblings at from many a distance. You would want to find out ways to help them. You would always probably not earn or gain a lot from helping them, but that does not deter you for doing things for them. We have another aspect of Mars, the eighth aspect of Mars, and there is a lot that we can talk about that aspect. We'll put up that video pretty soon, but before that, do write in your comments as to how you found this video, and let us know your views and your opinions. Till we meet with you again, stay safe.
Please hit the bell icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on the videos, and please subscribe to our channel.